Don't you hate it when you try to make a movie and the devils are never in the details? They're always inside of you. It sucks. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of The Exorcism, the newest film from director Joshua John Miller. Okay, so The Exorcism is a film. It's a film that stars Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe plays a troubled actor who, in essence, is dealing with demons in his own right of substance abuse and alcoholism, stuff like that. He recently came out of Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever it was, and in the process of everything, he's hired with leniency to do this film because he has a good past with the acting, to do a kind of small bit part in this possession horror film, this demonic horror film in a lot of respects. And in the process of everything that happens because of troubled horror films like Poltergeist and of course The Exorcist, things seem to go out of control when it seems like the possibility that Russell Crowe is possessed by a demonic creature. On top of everything, he's having to deal with his relationship with his daughter, who's starting to see the cracks of this character. And it also has people like Sam Worthington, Grace Bailey, and of course, Adam Goldberg, who basically are the production crew and actors and stuff like that. So in essence, it's a film that tries to tempt your senses and tempt your thought and logic about, is this a film about possession, about an actual demonic creature, or is this a film about a man who's basically boiling himself back into the alcoholism, the substance abuse, and is it making him spiral out of control? It's basically that type of film in a lot of respects. So with that said, it's a film that I was really interested in watching just because I think Russell Crowe in this career, this late stage of his career, is kind of a no F's type of career at this point. He just kind of does whatever he feels like. I mean, he's doing films like The Greatest Beer Run and Unhinged and the Land of the Bad or whatever it is, and then he's doing like stuff like The Exorcism. It seems like very much like a Nicolas Cage career where he had this like rise of status with Gladiator, and now he's doing stuff like this. But it's also like, he doesn't care. He had his moment of glory. Now he just does stuff to keep him busy. And so The Exorcism seemed like a film that could be a lot of fun. I mean, you don't know because it's one of those types of films that come out in the middle of summer. It's a horror film. I mean, it could be Insidious, but it could also be some terrible horror film that you've seen in the summer. It all depends on how this movie's going to play out. But I watched the trailer. I thought the trailer was pretty cool. It seemed like it was actually going to be a possession movie, but that leads into my honest review of The Exorcism, and it's an interesting, weird movie, to be fairly honest. It's a movie that is going to make you think one way, but also make you think another. I mean, it's a movie where there's this troubled production, this troubled possession production that's going on. Like, a couple of people get killed, but it's also dealing with a man who's dealing with alcoholism and dealing with substance abuse and is dealing with, the tragedy of a dead wife and dealing with the kid who's, kind of not wanting to have to deal with him and calls him Tony instead of Dad. And it becomes a movie that questions whether it is a demonic possession or it is a man going back into the bottle, going back into his own mind, blanking out, that type of thing. And it never really fully grasp either side. It just kind of makes you go, okay, I guess it could lean that way. Okay, I guess it could lean that way. It does things where it seems like it could be a possession movie, but it also seems like it could be a movie about a man dealing with his demons. Even to like the very end of the movie, not to spoil anything, but it makes you question what you're truly watching, and that could be a good thing. But I feel, not to like really tear apart this movie, but I feel like this movie sometimes feels like it's trying to be two parts The Exorcist, but also two parts like 9 days or 9 weeks or whatever that Sandra Bullock movie is, and it comes off laughable sometimes. I think David Hyde Pierce, who is the main actual priest in this movie, is very weird and very strange and tries to be a priest, but also tries to be somebody who's comforting to the Ryan Simpkins, who plays the daughter of Russell Crowe's character. But it just almost becomes laughable, to be fairly honest. And then Adam Goldberg is in this movie as like a really hard-ass director who just like uses the past of Russell Crowe's character of Tony in like really disturbing ways, so he could almost be like the catalyst of what makes Russell Crowe go back into like this really nasty individual. And like, so once again, it never fully comes to a realization of what it's trying to attempt. I guess that's the thing about horror films, and especially possession horror films, is they have a statement about human and human being, and like how we view religion and how we view ourselves and how we portray ourselves and like the demons inside of ourselves. But I think this movie is just, it's kind of split between two types of horror films. Once again, I think it's trying to do like the end of days, you know, guy in a lot of trouble, but it's also trying to do the Exorcist, where guy gets possessed and he does crazy things and you never entirely know. And this is also a problem with the editing and how, you know, characters like the Ryan Simpkins character acts, where they almost seem to be ambivalent to everything. Like she's like freaked out for her father, but the next scene she's like okay with her father, but she's still sad for it's just, it's never fully put together as a film, and it really is frustrating, and it really tries to be something interesting and something kind of deep and thought-provoking, but it ends up being just another horror film that's produced by Kevin Williamson. And I kind of just didn't love it for that. It was not a good film at all, to be fairly honest. I think Russell Crowe is doing a fun job. I think he's doing an interesting job. This just feels like late stage Russell Crowe paint by numbers type of thing. And I don't know. Russell Crowe is much more talented than stuff like this. And I feel like this movie just struggles under its own weight of just doing too many things at once. And for a movie that's only 95 minutes long, it feels so slight and everything. And you know, like I said, it has interesting moments. I think some of the graphic horror moments are fun and entertaining. I think it leads to one of the most catastrophic endings of a movie I've seen in quite a while when it comes to the trajectory and what it does, because it's trying to say one thing and then it leads into the other thing, and it's just like okay, and then it goes back to the other thing. It's just like okay, I guess, and then it just kind of leads off, and it's just like, okay, Joshua John Miller, I know I respect you. You were in your dark as a young kid in that movie, but yeah, I was not a huge fan of this movie. I was a little bored by it. It's a little slow, but it tries to be quickly done in 95 minutes, and I think that's a detriment to its work. So overall, not a big fan of The Exorcism. Not the worst thing I've ever seen, but watch stuff like, you know, Drag Me to Hell. Watch stuff like The Exorcist. Watch stuff like, if you want like a good kind of fun horror possession, you know, demonic movie, watch like The Devil's Advocate or something like that. This is just not a very good movie. Some people might like it. Maybe I'm the only one that doesn't like it. I don't know, but I just didn't like this movie at all. So overall, not really recommend, but you know, take it for what it's worth. So anyways, with that said, that is gonna be my take on The Exorcism, the newest film from Russell Crowe, now in theaters. Yeah, there you go. So anyways, comments below, what did you think of this movie if you watched it? What do you think of possession movies? What's your favorite possession movie? Probably The Exorcist, but what is it overall? Otherwise, if you like what you see on the channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top. The fun is coming next. If you like the video, awesome, hit that like button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.